Okay, we're back again. This is Media and Society 2, November the 9th. November the 9th. Let's have a look. We're going to go through last week's work. We're going to check it up, and then I'm going to give you what we're going to do today. Today we're going to start looking at a new topic for a kind of midterm project. So I'm going to talk about that a bit later on. So going back to last class, all about robots. I think it was a good topic, talking about robots and will robots take your job. Do you remember doing this one? I think it's a fun website to check out if you think robots are going to be taking your jobs. All right, so that was a fun website to check out. And then you had to talk about what you thought humans can do and what robots can do and what humans and robots can do. All right, so let's have a look at who should we look at? Let's have, what did Yuya say? We're going to have a look at Yuya. And only jobs that only humans can do. We've got teacher, counselor, sports trainer, artist, designer. All right, that's what he said. And what about jobs that humans and robots can do? Station staff, could be. Taxi driver, yeah, driverless cars. Hotel chambermaid, remember the video. Yeah, security guard, it's possible. It's possible to have a robot security. And bank teller, I think that's very, very possible. Bank teller is going to be a high percentage in the future. Maybe banks will disappear. It's possible, very possible. And jobs that only robots can do. What did he say? High-speed data entry work. Yeah. So anything that has very, very high-speed calculation. High-speed calculation, he says. A large amount of data processing. Self-driving. Yeah. Okay. So definitely anything that has a high level of calculation can only be done by robots. All right. Today I'm recording this on Sunday, so you've still got some time. But try to finish this before the next lesson, all right? Because otherwise you're going to be behind with the work. All right, so let's have some more people answering that one. All right. And so we had about 50 minutes looking at the PDF on robots in the US. All right. Now do this. Don't cheat and wait for the answers. Okay. There's no point to cheat. You don't learn anything if you just wait for me to finish and give you the answers. All right. So you have to do this to get an idea. So see if you can do that. All right. Before you check the answers, you're only cheating yourself if you don't do it. All right. What's the point? There was also a little bit of the textbook as well. Yeah, so the textbook to do for this week, but I'm going to talk about that in a minute. What about this one? How human are you? So taking a quick test of 29 questions and then entering your answers here. Alien, are you a robot? Let's move this over. Let's see what we got. So Naomi there says 2/3 robot, thinking like a robot. All right, a lot of you thinking like robots there. Sayuri is human. We've got some humans there. We've got hybrid. That means hybrid there for Chino. That is half robot, half human. Again, see if you can do that and add that in as soon as possible against your name. The robot test to see if you're more a robot than a human. All right, so make sure you can do that. Read through all those questions and add it in. Okay. So I thought that was an interesting topic. Let's move on to this week. And of course, here are the answers for the robot unit 9. But like I say, don't look at this. If you haven't done it, try it. You're only cheating yourself if you if you don't do it. Okay. So let's move on to this week. We're looking at newspapers, but we're comparing online newspapers with printed newspapers, because as you know, people are using their phones more, PCs more, to look at news, and the print newspapers are going down, disappearing. Okay, so what we want to look at is how much are they different, or how much are they the same. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is just to try this little game. You don't have to worry too much, but you have to just try and guess the different types of news. Okay, so I'll just move this over. So what you have to do is have a look at these different types of news, and then the definition of the types of news that you can find. Match them up. If you don't get it right, you can do it again. Okay, so once you try it once, you'll get a score, and then you can go back and try it again. See if you can match it up, and then try and learn the definitions. All right, it's very important. So see if you can try and learn those definitions. Don't worry about the score. Just try the game. Keep playing it until you get it right. And those are some definitions of different styles or types of news. I'm not going to talk too much because I want you to try that. All right. So that's a little introduction game. Then we're going to move to the textbook, chapter 11, Gathering News. And we've got wordplay. Make sure you do all the reading. And then the spotlight on meaning there. Okay, just go to those two. And then I want you to add your answers. So click here to enter your answers. So we go to the form, and for the wordplay, what you got to do is have a list. So for example, type the first word is propaganda, and what is the word that goes with propaganda? You can put it in a brackets. So you can just type 1, and then what does propaganda mean? And then you can put in a bracket there, and then add in your answer, and then go 2, which is up, hold, brackets, and then type in your answer, and so on. Okay. Similarly, for when you go to spotlight on meaning, it's 1, comma, and then which letter goes in that space there. 2. And so on. Okay, and then submit that. This is going to make sure you've done it. Okay, so I'm not going to give you the answer. Make sure that you've done it, and then we'll talk about it later. All right, so submit that. Don't forget name, student number. Okay, so that should give you a bit of an introduction to the topic of newspapers. Then we've got a quick video of advantages and disadvantages of print media. So this video will help you. We're going to look at the New York Times. Okay, the New York Times is online, and it's also still popular as paper. So this video is going to tell you what the advantages is of using the print still. Why is the print still a good idea? So just watch that video for a few minutes, and then we're going to come on to an article breaking down the differences between print and online editions. All right, so where it says pro means positive, that means advantage. Con is disadvantage or negative or against. Okay, so print media, pro, it's physical. Print media, con, that means negative. It's not free. Then we go down to Online Pro. It's immediate, accessible, convenient. Con, it doesn't include everything. Okay, so have a read of that. Just get an idea of the difference between the two. So that's going to help you with the next task. And then for 25 minutes, what I want you to do is to give your opinion. So I've got some links here. Let me just give a click here. You're going to see all about Biden beating Trump. Okay. So that's the news, of obviously big story. That's on the online version. And print version of the New York Times. So we're looking at the style. So this is, as you can see, these are all print versions. They should be 2020. So don't worry about today's copy, but just the style of the print. All right. So those are a couple of links to look at the different versions. And then what I want you to do in this form, obviously name and student number, and I want you to, can you type 4 things that you think are the same in both styles, online and paper, and 4 things that you think are different. Okay, so you're gonna have to go through and just have a look. What do you think is different? Don't worry about just the New York Times. It could be any. It could be Asahi Shimbun. It could be any Japanese paper. It could be any newspaper from any country. So don't worry if you don't really understand the New York Times stories. It's more like the style. Okay, you can use the Japanese versions if you want, but online newspapers versus print newspapers. That's the main topic. So submit that. Make sure you get that in. And the final thing to do is, how do you want to do your midterm project? So from next week, I'm going to start to give you a midterm project based on newspapers. All right. Now you can work as a pair, 2 people. You can work as a 3, not 4, because if it's 4, you're just going to be divided into 2. So 3 is the maximum number. The pair is always probably best choice for some people, or solo. So solo means you work by yourself. And all I want you to do here in this form is just tell me what is your team. Okay, so it's name and student number. And if you want to work in a pair, give your pair names. If you want to work in a 3, give your 3 names. And if you want to be solo, just type, you can just type the word your name and solo, or just solo. That's fine, because your name is going to be here. All right. So if you're going to enter as a pair, don't worry. If you do it twice, that's no problem, because we can just double check it. Okay. So we want to know if you want to work in a pair, solo, or in a 3. What's the advantage? A pair, of course, and 3, you're sharing the work. Solo, it's more work. Disadvantage is you have to talk to each other. You can't do just by yourself. Okay, so you have to meet each other. You have to organize yourself more. Solo means you can do it all by yourself. You could get more ideas in a team, depending who you work with. Another disadvantage of being in a pair or 3 is that one person is lazy. One person does all the work and someone doesn't do the work. All right, we don't want that. We want to have it share 50-50. All right, so if you don't complete this form, you're going to be solo. Okay, so if you don't tell me your pair, I'm going to put you as a solo. So if you really want to be pair or threes, make sure you submit it. Otherwise, you're going to be considered as a solo. All right. But I'm going to tell you next week what you have to do. So this is just team working, communicating with each other via email, line, Zoom, and so on. So just tell me how you want to work. And then next week, I'll give you the details of the midterm project. All right. What we might do after the project, that's going to take a couple of weeks, we may have a make-up session. What does that mean? That means anyone who's not submitted some work, you're going to have to really catch up, okay? Because if you remember, with our course, we didn't cancel this lesson. We just moved it. So that means that for us, we've done all the classes. We haven't missed anything. So some of you are a bit behind because of the cancellation of October the 12th, but we just moved it to October the 14th. All right. So some of you are a little bit behind with your work. You got to catch up because attendance is done by work submission. All right. So we may need some time for some of you to catch up. All right. Do the work as quick as possible, because at the end you're going to have a lot more to do. Okay. So that's the topic for this week. It's newspapers and news gathering and so on. So there we go. November the 9th, 2019, Media and Society 2.